Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. I have got a little one more job to do here as I do this, but I've got Oakland Councilmember Janani Rahmandran of District 4 coming on at the bottom half of the hour. So I've got roughly 25 minutes here. And so what I'm doing though is I'm making sure that this is put out here uh, on Facebook there. And then also another Facebook group that I normally put things out to here. And I'm saying live, Live, Live. And I did this all in haste because, of course, this is news that broke today. Okay. And what happened was that on Sunday, before the All Star Game, Mayor Thao went to Seattle to meet with the commissioner of baseball and his deputy to give an hour presentation on Howard Terminal. And this is my look at what they presented, because there are a lot of errors in it that really continue errors that started with the Schaaf administration, and uh, that Sheng has not only continued but essentially doubled down on. All right, and so here's first of all, I want to make sure that I've got this on the place that I was going to send it. One moment, please. Put it to here, and I'm going to put that post, and then hashtag LIVE, hashtag Oakland, then there, and post that. And this is not the only time I'm going to talk about this, but there. Okay, there. So that's posted there, and then I'm going to put it in one more place here. Oakland A-listers. There. Live. There. Okay. And explain how just really sad this is. So let me get on with the matter. Okay. First of all, hi, everybody. I'm going to start right off with this. This is, I call it style over substance. The mayor, first of all, congratulations to the mayor for just trying. But the problem is that she keeps trying in the wrong way. It's like she is operating on the idea that, well, no one ever did anything in the past. We're doing this. We know what we are doing. We're going to prove that this group can get it done. And you're not questioning who the group is, and you should, because left to right, I'll make it really easy for you. Of the four, three are from the mayor's office, and none of them have anything to do with economic development, except the project manager on the extreme right, and that's Molly Mayburn from Howard Terminal. By contrast, whenever I've gone to meet with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, I take the mayor, and if I can get a higher elected official to be in that room with me, I grab them. Okay, I do not go at all. I do not go into a meeting with this. Okay, and you would say, what is it that she prepared? And what she prepared and what she said and what she did was quite pure and simple. Put out that she was taking her. Let's go. Who? Let's go along the line. You have, first of all, the person on the extreme left, the communications rep. That's Patty Navlan. Then you've got the mayor, and then you've got her chief of staff, and that's Lee Hansen, and then you've got Molly Mayburn. All right, what it should have been, and this is a lesson to anybody who wants to understand how these things are supposed to be done, because some of you, including some of you who are looking here right now, You haven't been involved in this since like 2000, okay? And you're just kind of getting up to speed. So let me explain to you how this is supposed to be done. Protocol when you're dealing with a commissioner is that you don't send just anybody. You send your highest representatives in a presentation that says one thing: we are the team that can get it done. For example, when we gave our bid to host the Super Bowl, I took Jerry Brown, Robert Bob, Alameda County Commissioner Gail Steele, rest in peace. All right. And Scott McKibben, who was the publisher of the Alameda newspaper group. And now, if I had to do that all over again, I would have taken a celebrity. I wanted Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers, love Carl Weathers, but he wanted way too much money for what we were doing, like 160,000. I couldn't get him down. That's just a fact. But now you have to walk into the room with somebody like a Tom Hanks, and you have to walk in with a diorama, and you have to put on a show, not just books. You have to put on a show. You don't waste their time, because there are a lot of other people, college students who took marketing courses, who know how to really put on a show and present data in a nice, consumable way. But then what you want to show is that you have the ability, and this is what I'm explaining, okay, to get things done. That doesn't do that. That's the first error, okay? You know, that's why I call it style over substance. You take your city manager and you take your director of economic development to go with your Howard Terminal project manager and the mayor. That's how you do it. If you can get Barbara Lee or someone, you do that too. You swing, you literally swing for the fences. This is not swinging for the fences. Okay? It is not swinging for the fences. All right? This is the continuation of what the city has done, both less so under Libby from this perspective, but when Libby and Chang are considered as the Howard Terminal representatives from the political perspective, it continues. They want credit for turning in an incomplete report. They want you to give them not just credit, but an A plus for turning in an incomplete report. That's what this is about. Okay? That's what this is about. And you don't do what we're doing as a city, waiting until the last minute. That's what this is about. Oh, now the house is on fire. Okay? So my point is, this is style over substance. Now let's take a look at the document itself, which I happen to have. And I will then take your comments and go from there. I have the PDF that I converted. It's also a script file. Here it is. Okay. And okay, boom. And so this is what they submitted. And let's scroll through it. Oakland Athletics and City of Oakland, Major League Baseball, I should say ballpark development. It's a stadium. And it says presentation of terms. All right, let's stop right there. Okay, presentation of terms. What that means is very simple. It means that they're taking the term sheet that the A's have rejected and they're shoving it at Major League Baseball and saying, here's it. They have not made any changes to the presentation. They haven't shown that they have shown a willingness to, for example, continue the process, which they never started, of creating a tax increment financing zone. All right. It's not there. So yeah, my record of being perhaps the only person in the city who really understands tax increment financing is still alive continues, Jim Bloom. Take that. Okay. So the bottom line is They showed nothing. All right. Nothing. And it's sad. This is the term sheet. That's it. But it's put in a quasi pretty picture. Okay. It's got the letter here. Let's read the letter on and out of respect for the mayor. Dear Commissioner Manfred, I want to begin by expressing my sincerest appreciation for your willingness to meet with me in person to discuss next steps in the relationship between the City of Oakland, Major League Baseball, and the Oakland Athletics, A's. Although it is my understanding that the A's and Major League Baseball are currently focused on relocating the team from its longtime Oakland home to Las Vegas, I thought it best to reach out to you directly to share my perspective on where things stand in Oakland. As MLB and the relocation committee approach the very consequential vote that will determine the future of the A's in Oakland, I wanted to personally ensure that we have an open line of communication and that you have direct access to all of the relevant information that you will need to make an informed decision. That part is smart. Based on your really recent comments, I fear there may be certain misperceptions about the status of the A's proposed project at Howard Terminal. By way of this letter and its attachments, I want to make it clear to you, Major League Baseball, the relocation committee, and the owners of the other 29 teams that Oakland very much had a specific and concrete proposal on the table. We had a detailed and mutually agreed upon plan and schedule. And after 2 years of negotiations, we were, I believe, extremely close to finalizing a deal with the current ownership of the A's. That's first. There most certainly is a site for stadium in Oakland. She keeps using stadium. She say ballpark. That's the problem. And detailed plans for that site. Did anyone proofread this? At Howard Terminal, the A's proposed a total of approximately 6 million square feet of new development on approximately 55 acres of public land located on Oakland's waterfront, with sweeping views of the San Francisco skyline, in addition to a privately owned and operated ballpark with 35,000 fans. The A's proposed project would include 3,000 residential units and more than 1.5 million square feet of commercial space. Folks, let's stop right there. First of all, this, what I just read off to you, that is tantamount to a lie. You want to know why? Because Sheng presents it as if all that's to be built at once. And a lot of you A's fans have made the mistake of parroting that message. No, it's phased. And a lot of you would have figured that out and known that had you followed the project day by day, week by week, for the last 4 years, as I have, all right, and documented and vlogged about it and blogged about it. And you would have known, particularly if you watched this channel regularly, where the problems were. You didn't. You trusted the standard media that's easily accessible, I guess, to you. I would like to think this is easily accessible, right? But I digress. And my point is, the major problem has been pure and simple that the project had a phasing starting with the ballpark first, and then over a 7 to 14 year period, all right, land uses that totaled 12 billion square feet of development. But it is really sad that the City of Oakland, the organization that's really charged with developing the project in partnership with the Oakland Athletics, can't even get their own story right. They can't even get it right that it's a ballpark and not a stadium. So again, this is Mayor Thao saying, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and showing that style of what I call that brought me and others to call her out in late 2021 when she was running for mayor as, hey, someone who's really super, super way too ambitious to a point where it's reckless, and to some people cause them to describe her as a monster. I am being blunt because you know why? This is crunch time, folks, and we're in big, massive trouble as a city. We got to get it together, and this sort of thing has to be nipped in the bud. And the only best way to do it is to criticize it. No bum mots here. Now, bottom line, the simple fact of the matter has been that this project, in the way it has been presented, excuse me, let me go back here, this way, all right, has also been the tool for it to be given out to the media as opposed to get something done. There is no mention here, and I'm going to continue reading this, of money, all right? She goes on to talk about the design issues. This is a politician doing this. This person has no training in this. And the people that she took with her don't have any previous training in redevelopment projects. They don't. And so she talks about the Howard Terminal, says that this is the plan for the waterfront district, and says that the city maintains a robust web page for the project. So, and then it says it's not an accurate statement. There's no offer from Oakland. It is an accurate statement because there was no at all, which means there was no entitled project. You can't offer something that's not complete, that the city council hasn't signed off on. So again, this is a continuation of the problems that have gotten us into trouble to begin with. She just can't help herself. Okay. So she says all of the multiple offers were rejected by the A's, despite the fact that Oakland's current offer, including more money for both on-site and off-site infrastructure, the A's had themselves requested. Again, not true. And so they don't mention in any of this, all right? It says the city has persevered in its pursuit of a deal to keep the A's in Oakland despite numerous pivots from the A's ownership. And she goes over the history from this. And then she writes, finally, I'm compelled to address some of the recent comments about attendance. And she talks about the attendance being depressed in Oakland's post-pandemic era, which is questionable as to where we are with that. And she said that wouldn't be shocking. And then she said that in 2019, the A's were competitive. The fans turned out. And she said this lack of investment is, I believe, a disservice to the team, the league, and baseball fans everywhere. And she said that, and she pointed out the doubling of season ticket prices, which she's correct to do. She's absolutely right about that. That was wrong for the A's to do. But the A's were hemorrhaging money. Okay, let's be honest. And then they talked about how the reverse boycott demonstrated the power of the A's fans. You know, but the trouble is that when the A's fans are misled, it's kind of like power in the wrong direction. So anyway, she writes, I want to be 100% clear. I want the Athletics to stay in Oakland. And she says, California is united on this topic. Okay, prove it. Where's Gavin? Why don't you bring Gavin with you? All right. And she says to the governor, I haven't seen Gavin anything. To the California delegation in Washington is weighed in, not which of the words, but legislative action infrastructure dollars. She didn't mention Tom Hanks here. Okay. So this was done. And she continues, if you have any questions about Oakland's commitment or what Oakland is willing to do, please bring them to me directly. My intention is to provide complete transparency to you and to the other 29 Major League Baseball owners, as well as to the public, about how we got there here. Until there's actual shovel in the ground in Las Vegas, we will not stop trying to keep the team where they belong in Oakland. I'm sure Las Vegas will be perfectly happy with an expansion team, and the A's, we would look forward to hosting them at a game right here in Oakland. Ugh. I appreciate you sharing this information, Major League Baseball owners, so that they too are in position to make an informed decision on the proposed relocation of the A's. Okay, here's the thing, and this is what Sheng doesn't understand. Let me get your comments, okay, before I get too far away from what you all have to say, regardless of what you have to say. Humpers, how you doing? He says it's all for a political show. This is just her getting her 2 cents in for the inevitable who lost the A's debate. Timothy says political blank covering, too little, too late. The A's are gone. Hopper says time to move on and do something else. This should be good. Thank you, Jay. I said coming, apologize for the tech glitch. Taking pictures of her and her staff and posting on social media, political cover, all of this. Yep. Eric Sterling, hello, Zinni. Is the money really there? that the Mayor Thao says is talking about 425 million for on-site and 500 in 510 million off-site infrastructure. It's there if if you use tax increment financing. It's there, yeah, but you can't do it through grants. All right, but the mayor wants to prove that she can do it through grants without doing TIF, and it's because they don't understand that tax increment financing is based on assessed value. It's not your map. And what happened is that a number of you in the media push this idea that, oh, they're confused about the map, and you never question them. All right. So it's no wonder that in the Bay Area, investigative reporting is dead. It's not dead in the South, but it's dead in the Bay Area. You guys just let these folks squawk on and talk. But the bottom line is this: to answer your question, they need to do tax increment financing. If they did just the stadium, and what I do and what we did when redevelopment was active, we would target assessed value. Now, by law, we weren't supposed to do that, but we knew that by targeting our assessed value goals, it framed our financial picture, what kind of tools we need, how much, and then we could discuss if we were targeting assessed value at 2 billion with the objective of getting 1.6 billion in tax increment financing revenue for an $800 million bond issue. What that helped us to do, folks, is it allowed us to say, all right, we know that we have this stadium that they're going to build, but is there ancillary development? Is that enough? Should we target other structures? And then that's when the A's would say, wait a minute, we have this phased project that totals $12 billion, right? So we would say, all right, what is that total in terms of tax increment revenue? The answer is 9,700 million, assuming a 40% rate of growth in assessed value over a 45-year period with a $2 billion base year. Okay. Note, I mentioned nothing about how a map was shaped. I even had, I'm not going to say his name, says, well, they were saying it's all the map thing. The A's didn't understand because it's not their job to understand. It's the A's job to take its cues from the government. You understand that? The government is supposed to know. So it becomes the blind leading the blind. I've said that before. Nothing has changed. Hopper says, I missed the old man daily when I was growing up in Chicago. He would just come out and say what he felt. Absolutely knew this would be a negative. Yep. Sorry. The A's are gone. Having a discussion on what went wrong is mostly pointless unless it's meant to be constructive dialogue on how to avoid another debacle in the future. You know, that's my point. We didn't have that after the Raiders. Libby didn't do that. And she poured all the mistakes that we made in the Raiders issue into the A's issue. And now Sheng is just repeating them. Okay. So, okay. Me. Yeah, Jim Bloom, I see you. Okay. And yeah, I can do the better job. And if that bothers you, so what? Go eat pizza or whatever it is that you do on a weekend, all right? But I'm glad you're upset about it. I am the best, okay? And I came from that generation. We got things done. You want to tell people who fought in the war they couldn't get it done? Ain't blank you, pal. You're weak. You represent weakness. You don't want to fight. You don't want to get anything done. You're afraid to say you're the best. I'm not. I'm the best. Deal with it. Now, okay? America's in the 20th century getting stuff done. America's in the 21st century getting nothing done. That's a big problem. Jay Belton says they want you to feel sorry for them as if they're victims. Yeah, it's the victim culture. A former Oaklander pointed that out to me, who was a bigwig, and said, you know, now you have people who say, elect me because I was violated. And he's right. That's where we changed. It's horrible. He says, let's assume that a competent city employee, that I'm a competent city employee is what this person is saying, okay? Then I'm going to be getting out of Oakland and work for another city. Yeah. Jay Belton says, they portray themselves as victims of John Fisher and the system. Yep. That's the problem. So they're victims. Oh, we don't know, and we're just the poor puppies in the corner. Oh my Lord, you know, and I love puppies. You know, we got to save the puppies. All right. But folks, These folks are not puppies. They're grown people that are assigned to manage things like your tax dollars. Anyway, all right. America on the day after Pearl Harbor. Let's get started and get the job done. America in 2023. Let's write a report and get nothing done. Yeah, we dropped the bomb. That's what we did. We dropped the bomb. We have people like Jim Bloom around. We'll be too afraid to do it. Okay. Well, hey, don't say that you're the best. I can do it. Oppenheimer. I would love to see J. Robert Oppenheimer's reaction to this sort of thing. Please. It's a nice glossy report. Isn't true, but it looks nice. It doesn't even look nice. You want to read that report, you need to read that report from the movie. From A Few Good Mayors, a parody of A Few Good Men. You want me on that line? You need me on that line. Yeah, that's what I'm saying exactly. You want me to read that report? You need me on that. That's Jack Nicholson. Thanks for that. Yeah, remember Alec Baldwin and his famous, speech about it takes brass balls to, write all that. I guess Jim Bloom doesn't like Glengarry Glen Ross and the heroic can-do real estate broker that Alec Baldwin played, right? Oh no, he hated that speech, didn't you, Jim? Give me a break, all right? Don't say it's about me. Jeez, fake it, you make it. Exactly, the American way. Yeah, I like it. Right? Yeah, exactly. Let me do to California, what I did for Oakland. Thao for governor. Oh gosh, success has many fathers. Defeat is an orphan. All right. Jay says, I don't think for a minute that Manfred is not reading the room in the exact same way you are, Zenny. Oh, look, here's the thing, all right? And what Sheng and her staffers have to understand, and people who are watching, is that these owners have seen tons of pretty pictures, all right? You're not going to snow them with a pretty picture. You're gonna get them by saying, hey, look, the best way to have gotten them was if you had the council approve a development agreement, all right, and you had the tax increment financing area already approved and was already drawing tax increment in a pay-go system, okay, allowing you to pay administrative costs so you could take some weight off the athletics, right, which would have been kind of a nice thing to do, all right? You give me enough money to give Molly Mabry a little staff support help, okay? And some more project certainty rather than fear. It hurts to see people in a project that needs to happen suffer and wonder if their jobs are going to be, cut. All right. It really is. I've got Councilmember McMahon drawn in 15 minutes. I got to wrap up very soon. All right. Let me see this. So I got that one. He says, Sheng will screw everything up during her term, and her re-election campaign slogan will be "Reelect Thao as she changed." Yep. And then I want the A's to stay in Oakland. I want to win the lottery. Wanting something doesn't make it so. What she should be asking for is to make sure that Oakland is front and center, number one candidate for expansion. All right. She's okay, but doing this jazz about, well, until shovels are in the ground, that's wasting time. Because you know what's going to happen between now and when shovels are in the ground in Las Vegas? What's going to happen is that a number of cities are going to be angling to be expansion candidates. You can't wish Las Vegas away. And A's fans, you ought to have your tails collectively at city council, criticizing the city for its lack of know-how, for its slow rolling this. The A's did slow roll the drawings in 2021. And Elizabeth Lake's assistant city manager's heartfelt letter is something that should be seen by everybody. But the trouble is that was then, all right? When you have that situation, because I talked about it 2 years ago, I said, hey, look, you want to blame somebody for this not working, blame the A's. I was pointing at the fact that the A's had not gotten their drawings, and you cannot do a development agreement without finished drawings. I kept saying that then. You know, other people saying, well, you can do an artist rendition. No, you can't. Okay? All right. The time to have a press conference and yell was back in 2020 before you got together with the county. And then when you got together with the county, as we did, you don't then not do the tax increment financing zone because you couldn't agree on the map. You have Howard Terminal as your map. No one officially approved Howard Terminal. There has been no official approval of Howard Terminal by Oakland City Council. All right? None. It's still stuck in the ENA stage. Hello? Okay? So stop with this stuff. Let's get Cody, and then all this other ridiculous stuff. Oh, and then just stop it, please. And I want to say something else too before I close about this idea that the project won't pencil out in Las Vegas. Look, know what you're talking about. The only part of concern with respect to that you should worry about is the bond issue. The bond issue is $120 million. The bond cost, principal and interest, $261 million, assuming a 3.5% interest rate. You go a little north than that, you're looking at 200. No, excuse me. I take that back. If you assume a 6% interest rate, 5 or 6% interest rate, it's $261 million. The bottom line is, if you divide the $261 million by 30-year bond issue in Nevada is allowed, it's $8.83 million annually. That's your debt service. The A's have to make double that, $17.6 million. Guess what, folks? They're set to take in over $700 million, $757 million year one. That means the money that they need to meet the 2-to-1 debt coverage ratio requirement is just 2.23% of the total revenue they will take in Las Vegas. Now, here's the other thing, folks. All right. They would have more expensive bond issue in Oakland. Nobody was saying, hey, look, don't give them public funding in the Howard Terminal case because they're keeping him in Oakland. Just want to point that out. So come to a new argument, folks. One that says, hey, look, we want to be in the game of Major League Baseball in Oakland, and we need to start now, with expansion. Forget about crying about Las Vegas. That ship has sailed. The governor signed it. You got all these people lining up to buy into the bond issue that's going to come within about, now, I would say by August of next year. It will beat election day by months. Okay. So forget all that stuff about, I'm raising money to put it on the ballot and all this. Yeah, you keep doing that. All this is too late. Okay. So let me see. I've got 619. It says, I want the A's to stay in Oakland. I want to win the lottery. Patrick Vaughn says, how does the city council sign off on a negotiation and not reach agreement? Thank you. Why should there be negotiation in this document? Is there an expectation for Oakland to bargain with itself? Good point. I love it. Comment of the day. People keep saying that Nevada bill can be transferred to an expansion team. No, it can't. That is, wait a minute. You have to start from scratch, because in the legislation that gave rise to the bond issues being formed, it points to a specific set of expectation about the land, its location, and what will be built there. And, you don't know that for an expansion team, they want that for that same price. Okay. That you have to remember, every project is different and sized differently depending on the owner. So I've got a bunch of different comments here. What I'm going to do is, there's a number of them, is I am going to take these. All right. I'm going to take these. Okay. And I'll address all of them in another one, but I've got to stop here because I'm having Councilmember Rahman come on in 10 minutes to discuss Mayor Thao's request for a $75,000, $77,000, whatever it is, raise, and her opposition to it. All right, subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That ends this broadcast, folks. Thank you for stopping by. We will see you. Okay, later.